Hello everyone and welcome to WGBS TV Live, brought to you by SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. My name is Steve Eunice. In this, our May 28th, 2019 show, we're going to be covering a range of topics, including the promotions for Krypton Season 2. We're going to be talking about comic books and so much more. Unfortunately, I don't have a co-host tonight. I'm going solo tonight. Michael Bailey's internet has still been playing up for him, and so unfortunately he is unable to join me tonight. I tried my best to get a co-host to fill in for him. Unfortunately, guys like Scotty V, Neil Bailey, and others were unavailable at short notice, so I apologise. It's just me tonight, but I will push through and make do and see if I can fill in the hour with the information that we have available. Now, if you're watching this live, you're either doing it via YouTube, our YouTube channel, or directly on our website. And seeing as we're beaming this live across the internet and therefore around the planet Houston, we'd like to hear from you, our live listeners. So to get involved tonight, use the comments on YouTube there to be able to talk to me, ask me questions. I'm happy to be able to answer anything that you might want to know about Superman or about the Superman homepage. We won't have the Skype facility tonight. Michael usually takes care of that, and being the one-man show that I am tonight just makes it a little bit difficult to try to juggle everything going on at the same time. So feel free to add your comments on the YouTube channel video there, and I will react to them as we go along in tonight's WGBS TV Live program. For those of you tuning in live, I'd like to thank our sponsor and patron, Douglas Meacham. Appreciate your support, and don't forget to use those comments, as I said, on the YouTube channel, and I will keep an eye on that. Yes, Ricky Lee, you guys will be my co-hosts tonight. Everyone in the YouTube comments, Ricky Lee, JP, Helmuth, Mike, Rob, Leroy, John Patrick Van Pelt, and others who might tune in as the hour goes along. Appreciate you guys listening in live, watching live. So here we go. Well, as we normally do, I like to start with movie topics. And while there isn't a lot of movie news surrounding Superman, what we do know is that Warner Brothers have pushed back the release date for the proposed DC Super Pets movie. And the Super Pets animated, well, we don't know if it's animated or live action. We don't really know much about the film, but it was scheduled to be released on May 21st, 2021. But that date has now been taken by the recently announced John Wick 4, Chapter 4 film, starring Keanu Reeves. Now, I don't know necessarily whether that's the reason why Super Pets has been pushed back, but it has actually been pushed back for a whole year. It now won't be released until May 22, 2022. So we have to wait an additional year for the release of the DC Super Pets film. As you guys know, DC Super Pets involves characters like Crypto the Super Dog, Streaky the Super Cat, Beppo the Super Monkey, Comet the Super Horse. We don't know if any or all of those characters will appear in this film, but they're the characters that from the Superman family of pets that are usually involved in the DC Super Pets stories. But all we do know is it's from directors Jared Stern and Sam Levine, with producer Patty Hicks, and we now know that it will be released May 22nd, 2022. So yes, it's a long way away. We're not even in the 2020 yet, and we have to wait an additional 2 years after that. So we'll just have to push through and hope that we can find out more about this film when and if it actually ever gets released. So DC Super Pets, you've got to wait a little bit longer for that one. Now, if you live in New Zealand, and I know a lot of our live listeners do, Flicks in New Zealand are hosting a one-night-only screening of Superman the movie. Superman the movie will be screening there on Friday, June 14th. It will be a 8:30 p.m. screening, and I'm going to try to announce some of these places. Obviously Auckland, Taranaki, Vanuatu, Wanganui, Bay of Plenty and Wellington are all locations of Flix screenings of Superman the movie. A little bit late for the 40th anniversary, but nevertheless always good opportunity to see Superman the movie on the big screen if you haven't done so. For those tuning in late asking where Michael Bailey is, sadly his internet is still playing up and he is unable to get online tonight to be able to join me as co-host tonight. So as I said, I'm trying to do it on my own. So Mike's saying I guess there was a breakdown with Ace the Bat-Hound's agent. No, Ace could probably and will likely turn up. I only listed the Superman family of super pets that I thought you guys might want to see in this upcoming DC Super Pets movie. And yes, of course, we would like to see an actual Superman movie again sometime soon. But in the meantime, we can only grab onto what Warner Brothers are announcing as far as which films involving super characters will be out there. So that's the New Zealand screening of Superman the movie, as I said, Friday, June 14th, 8:30 p.m. at different locations of Flix Cinemas. You can purchase your tickets through flix.co.nz or NZ. All right, the only other kind of tenuous Superman movie connection out there for news at the moment is Brightburn. This is the horror film that is obviously inspired by, if you like, Man of Steel and the Superman story. It involves a child from another world crash landing on Earth, but instead of becoming a hero to mankind, he's proved to be something far more sinister. Now, I have seen mixed reviews on this film, and different people are saying different things about it. Those who like horror movies are loving it, others saying it's so-so. But Ed Gross, who's a good fan of the Superman homepage and writes for closerweekly.com, posted an article on closerweekly.com asking different fans and experts of Superman on their thoughts on Brightburn, why it's been made, why, the connection to Superman, what we think of people writing evil Superman stories. And he interviewed me for this piece, which I was happy to participate in and gave my thoughts. And here's one of the things I did say. I said the complaint for those who don't get Superman is that he's too good and therefore boring and uncool. These people are usually fans of the anti-hero archetype, preferring the darker characters like Batman, Wolverine, Punisher, and so on. So to fix Superman, like he needs fixing at all, they try to turn his story towards this type of model and ask the question, how cool would it be to see if Superman turned bad? Now, that's obviously where this horror film leans towards. It's kind of, taking that spin on the Superman character, and there's lots of homages to the Man of Steel film, lots of shots that are inspired and almost replicas of what Zack Snyder did, especially in the trailer, which I'll play for you in a second. Leroy saying that Brightburn is awesome, JP saying that he enjoyed it, and Mike saying it doesn't exist in his universe, in his world, he will not watch it. I'm a fan of a lot of sci-fi and horror films. I don't like the bloodthirsty slash kind of horror films, but I don't mind a good scare, and this is probably on that outer edge of the kind of movies that I like to watch, but it's an interesting concept. I don't see why. I mean, I can understand why some Superman fans get upset at dark Superman stories and don't like them and prefer Superman to be a lighter, more fun type of story. But this isn't Superman. It's inspired by Superman, and so I guess they can do whatever the heck they want with it. And so I can understand why some people can get upset at it, but it's not a Superman film. It's not any way connected with Superman, officially connected to Superman. It's not being marketed as a Superman film. There are obvious connections and correlations to the Superman story. So yeah, if you like that kind of film, go see it. If you don't, fair enough, I can understand that. But here is the promo trailer for it, if anyone is wondering what I'm talking about.
Whatever you've done, I know there is good inside you.
Who am I? You are a gift. I know it's been difficult for you lately that you feel different from other kids. You are different. After your dad and I got married, we prayed for a baby for so long. One night, someone listened. Brandon? You are special. We believe that you came here for a reason. He was in the barn.
Did he find it?
No. It was like he was drawn to it.
He may look like us. He's not like us.
So there's just some of the trailer. You can see the whole thing on YouTube if you're interested. No, it's not based on any Superman story, and I can understand, Mike, your concerns that some people will think that this is how Superman should be, and this is what I actually address in the article that Ed Gross has published on Closer Weekly regarding, what people's reactions to this might be. And I said, I think people will go into this, if they do see the connection with Superman, and go, you know what, I can understand why there's some kind of interest in that, but that's just not Superman. Superman is the symbol of hope, and maybe it will give people, filmmakers and Warner Brothers, the notion that, no, this is too dark. We need to turn to the light side of the Superman story and give something that is hopeful and uplifting and inspiring. And so, if anything, hopefully, this kind of take on the story of a strange visitor from another planet will maybe spin things 180 degrees and get them back on the right track to making a more hopeful, uplifting Superman story for a future Superman film, whenever that may be. God knows at this point in time. So that's Brightburn, and that's all we have on the movie side of things. Now, looking at the TV side of things, Supergirl Season 4 ended last week, and I spoke about the finale, and now we have a couple of months to wait until Supergirl Season 5 returns, with, as we know, the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover as part of that. So now we turn our attention to Krypton. Season 2 of Krypton is about to start on Sci-Fi, and they've been really drumming up their promotions for the second season of the series. And one of the things they posted online this past week was this video I'm about to play of a time-lapse video of what it takes to turn actor Emmett Scanlon into Lobo, the main man. Check out this video that was posted on YouTube this week, and see the level of work that goes into something that is pretty cool once you see the final result. So there you have it. The level of makeup and hair and everything else that goes into turning Emmett Scanlon into Lobo. And again, for those tuning in late, Michael is not with me tonight due to his internet issues continuing this week. He hopes to have it sorted tomorrow, so he should be able to be back with us next week. So Emmett Scanlon as Lobo, sitting in that chair for the amount of time. I mean, I don't know how fast that was, but it seems like a laborious process of getting him to into the makeup and hair and everything else that goes along with becoming Lobo for Krypton Season 2. So that was pretty cool to see this behind the scenes video from the people at Sci-Fi. So Krypton Season 2, as I said, big promotions for it with Sci-Fi doing so much to promote it. They've even had these big electronic billboards in Times Square cycling through, promoting the second season. Here is some of those images of what they're doing with those billboards. We've got, wrong one. So you got Segel there, you got the characters in the poster and the red image there, and then you've got a secondary image which shows Emmett Scanlon as Lobo as well. So these images were photographed and taken and put on Twitter, thanks to Twitter user Stephen Biscotti for posting those. So great to see just the levels of promotions that Sci-Fi is willing to do for Krypton Season 3. Season 1 was a real surprise to a lot of fans. I don't think many people expected it to be as good as it was, or to enjoy it as much as they did. And the level of detail that goes into building the sets and the costumes and the characters that we got to know and love and even hate in this series to date have been fantastic. And Season 2 looks like it's ramping things up even further. They also released, Sci-Fi that is, on their Facebook and Twitter accounts, these character images, these monochromatic images of some of the female characters that are in Season 2 of Krypton and were in Season 1 as well. You've obviously got Nisa there. You've also got Lyta Zod, says Loyal Blood, and the third one that they've released so far is of Jaina Zod and Force of Nature, which sporting a different hairstyle this season, now as a bit of a rebel of the establishment there and General Zod's rule, Drew Zod's rule. So that's the character images that they've been releasing. I think that was just today that they released those. And Krypton Season 2 returns June 12th to Sci-Fi, and I saw a promotion for it here on the Sci-Fi channel in Australia on Foxtel, and it will be mid-June here as well, so not much longer to wait. We're at the end of May, so a couple of weeks, 2 weeks really, until we get Season 2 of Krypton, and we've got so much to look forward to. There's Doomsday, there's Zod, there's Brainiac, and there's Lobo, to name a few of the villains that are appearing in Season 2. So we'll have to wait and see just what will happen with Season 2 of Krypton. Looking forward to where they're taking this story, with so much having changed, with Zod having changed the history, or the future history if you like, of the planet Krypton. Just reading through some of the comments here. People talking about the fact that we don't have a Superman movie coming up soon. Ricky Lee saying, I don't know why, I think DC thinks that some of the supporting characters of Superman's universe are more profitable and interesting than the Superman himself. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but there does seem to be the scope now to be able to explore the wider universe of characters that they're doing throughout, not just Superman, but Batman, with other characters getting the spotlight and things as well. And now with the DC Universe live streaming app, you get Doom Patrol, you've got Titans, and they're really exploring some of the more fringe characters, or not necessarily A-list characters that they have in the past, because just there's a bigger following, I guess, now, and a more opportunity to promote those characters to an audience who's been waiting for some of these characters to get onto the big or small screen. Ricky Lee saying Krypton is fine, but the only reason we want it is we are starving for any Superman crumbs we can get. And that's true to some extent. I remember some people saying they weren't going to watch Krypton because it wasn't about Superman, that it was too removed from Superman. But I think we can enjoy things without having to actually have Superman directly involved. Yes, obviously we want Superman directly involved if we had a choice. But when we're given other material to watch and to absorb, I guess we will take anything Superman related when we are Superman fans, because we're not just fans of the character himself, but of the supporting characters and the situations they're in, which is why I wasn't so opposed as some people were to the Metropolis TV series that was supposed to be involving Lois and Lex. I didn't necessarily agree with the teaming up of Lois and Lex as like an X-Files type of investigative paranormal show, but I don't mind the idea of Lois having a Lois Lane series. I love the Lois Lane novels by Gwenda Bond, which if you haven't read, you should. So I'm interested to see where any supporting characters of Superman can carry their own stories without the Man of Steel directly involved. What else have we got here? So just reading through some of those comments. So that's where Krypton it is at. June 12th it returns. Looking forward to seeing where this second season takes us. Mike says he also thinks for a time Superman was off limits to TV properties, so they had to explore other parts of his world. And I guess there was some concern at some points in time over the last 10-15 years about the whole copyright legal battle that was taking place between the Siegel-Schuster families and DC Warner Brothers. And now that's all been ironed out. A lot more of these characters can be explored without any kind of legal ramifications or concerns over profits and sharing those profits. So let's hope that we do get more Superman stuff coming our way. We don't know what's happening beyond season 5 of Supergirl, but if it's not going to go into a 6th season, then perhaps they could do a spin-off with Tyler Hoechlin and the other characters, Bitsy Chulok as Lois Lane, going into a Superman series if they're not going to continue with Superman movies for the foreseeable future or anytime soon. Whatever happened to that Metropolis series? Well, it was announced as a possibility or as a TV series that was in production or that had been proposed for the DC Universe streaming service. Then it was postponed in favour of other things, and I think was being revisited, or the whole idea of it was being reformed. So there's nothing new about that as far as we know at this point in time. It's kind of been put back to the drawing board at this juncture, so we'd have to wait and see if anything ever eventuates with that. It could be cool to see something along those lines, maybe reworked to a different type of setting. Alright, well, we're just about at the halfway point of tonight's show. I will get back on the flip side of these advertisements we're about to play to do our monthly segments of the Super Secret Soundbite and the Big Question. So stick around, we will get into those right after these messages. Back shortly with more from WGBS TV Live, brought to you always by supermanhomepage.com.
We'll be back in a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane. No, it's SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. SupermanHomepage.com, covering the world of Superman from the 1930s to today. News, reviews, rumors, and reports. SupermanHomepage.com for all your Superman comics, TV shows, movies, cartoons, radio shows, and more. Everything you ever wanted to know about the Man of Steel. Steel, and more. SupermanHomepage.com.
Thanks, Superman Homepage, for all the support over the years. I really appreciate it.
I'm Matt Bomer. I'm the voice of Superman and Superman Unbound, and this is the Superman Homepage.
Right here on Superman Homepage.
Oh, that outfit's adorable! It's perfect! I think it's time to have some fun at Burger King. Excellent!
Yeah, that sounds great.
What are you watching?
Superman fighting Brainiac?
Did you turn it down?
Cool new Superman toys are now at Burger King. You can get one with every Kids Club meal.
Well, what have we here?
Whoa. Burger King Kids Club. Great food, cool stuff, kids only.
And I'm back on WGBS TV Live, where, as I mentioned, we're going to get into our monthly segments of the Big Question and the Super Secret Soundbite.
Let's start with the big question.
So, last month's big question was, what was the quick? What did you think of Justice League versus the Fatal Five animated movie? And we had 3 respondents, and they were Ron Crosby, who said Justice League versus the Fatal Five was fun to watch and took me back to the old Justice League animated series days. Nostalgia won me over. That being said, I do prefer the Justice League War through the Reign of the Superman stuff more though, and can't wait for Batman Hush. So thank you, Ron, for your response. It did take me back to the Justice League Unlimited days, and especially having the old, or not old, but the original, if you like, voice cast for those animated shows back in. That was fantastic, and the character designs obviously as well. Zengi Ingley wrote, I love the Fatal Five animated movie. It reminds me a lot of Zack Snyder's work, especially the Spartan phalanx style mental plate formation from 300. Interesting that he liked the designs there. Patrick Van Pelt wrote, I didn't enjoy watching the Justice League versus the Fatal Five animated movie as much as I liked the Reign of the Superman animated movie, because there were some strong scenes that I didn't like, and you can hear some language that is inappropriate for kids. I'm looking forward to seeing the new Batman Hush film, which is scheduled to be released summer 2019. Yeah, they do use a bit of language in this animated movie, which is not necessarily that adult, but it's not for kids, say, under 13. But it's been a while since these animated films have been anything but PG-13, and so I would be surprised if anybody expected them to be anything less. Animated films tend to be for teenagers and above these days. It's usually the things like the Super Pets and DC Superhero Girls and those types of, the Teen Titans Go, those types of properties that are directed for the younger audience and therefore more appropriate language, if you like, for those. Interesting that people had that reaction to Justice League versus the Fatal Five. So that's the big question from last month. Thank you to those people for responding to that question. The new big question for this month is, what did you think of Season 4 of Supergirl? We've all been speaking week to week about the individual episodes, but I want to get your feedback on what you think of the season overall. There were people saying that Season 3 was probably the weakest so far, but let us know what you think of Season 4 as a whole of Supergirl on the CW, and you can get involved in the Big Question segment of our show by heading to the Superman homepage website and finding the Big Question feedback form under the contact menu. We will read out, that's Michael and I, next month, the answers that we receive. You can also record yourself as an audio response, MP3 file if you like. Send that through to us. The instructions are all there on the Big Question page, which, as I said, is found under the contact menu at the Superman homepage website, and we will read out those or play those at the last Tuesday of June when we get back to these segments next month. Mike says that Justice League versus the Fatal Five was a Jessica Cruz Starboy movie. Yeah, it definitely was. They were the two main characters in that. But I did think that Superman, out of the other Justice League characters, got a fair share of the limelight. Obviously not as much as Starboy and Jessica Cruz, but more so maybe than Batman and Wonder Woman did. And I was impressed with that. Mike says that he's looking forward to the Batman Ninja Turtles movie that's coming out more than he is Hush. Fair enough too. And I believe in that Batman Ninja Turtles movie, the same actor, the same voice actor that plays Batman also plays the Joker, which is the first time that the one actor has played both characters in a film. So there's a bit of trivia for you right there. Ricky Lee saying that Justice League versus the Fatal Five was not kid-friendly, which disappoints him because his son loves the Justice League Bruce Timm TV series, so I guess he will have to wait till he's a little bit older to see it. Yeah, that's a parental decision. If you've watched it yourself and you think that the language involved or the action involved is too mature for your own child, then that's a decision that, yeah, you can make for your child as to whether or not they watch it at the age that they're at. Tina saying they don't even curse like that in the comics. Yeah, I think DC are of the opinion that their comic books are still read while they are read by a more mature audience these days and marketed to a more mature audience. I guess they're still aware of the fact that they want to make them available to children as well, and so they have a more, I guess, a stronger element of what they put in there as far as curse words and language. So yes, have to wait and see what people think. So yeah, people are already responding to the big question for next month. Get involved via the website, as I mentioned. I'm not going to read out those responses here. Okay, turning to the super secret soundbite.
Only one thing alive with less than 4 legs can hear this frequency, Superman, and that's you.
So the super secret soundbite from last month came from the Smallville TV series, season 8, episode 2 to be exact, but we weren't looking for the exact episode, but if you got that, that's fantastic. Let's play that sound again, and then we'll let you know who guessed it right.
Wow, big points for punctuality, Smallville. But what's with the wardrobe malfunction?
So there was Erica Durance's Lois Lane talking to Tom Welling's Clark Kent, and the 3 people who guessed it right were Ron Crosby, Luke Lizalde, and Douglas Meacham. So congratulations to those three people for guessing where in the world of Superman that sound came from. Let's see if more people can guess where in the world of Superman this new super secret soundbite comes from.
You gave me that sunstone. You told me to find this place, and I did. Now my parents are dead.
So, do you think you know where in the world of Superman that sound comes from? If you do, don't say anything in the comments right now. Post your answer to the Super Secret Soundbite entry form, which you can find at the Superman homepage website under the contact menu. And I will read out, Michael and I, when he joins me back then, we'll read out the names of every person who guesses it right when we return with these segments at the end of June. So get involved in both the Big Question and Super Secret Soundbite segments of our show. They appear monthly on the last Tuesday of each month. So they are the segments for this month. Thank you to those who got involved, and look forward to seeing the more responses in next month's show when we get back to these segments. Alright, well, let's push through and go into the comic book side of the Superman universe. And DC Comics announced this week that the Justice League monthly comic book will be getting a new look logo, and that will appear from issue number 25. Here is the logo in full, and that's what it looks like. And according to the official website, the logo debuts ahead of the 60th anniversary of DC's flagship superhero team, and features clean lines and a signature star that has appeared on many of the Justice League logos through the ages. So yes, that is the new logo for the Justice League comic book. Now, they first appeared, the Justice League, in the issue Brave and the Bold number 28 back in December 1959, and that's the logo that was used at the time. So as you can see, there's a lot of similarity to what the new one is, and the Justice League then appeared in their own title, issue number 1, dated November 1960. And then this is the logo in place without the shield and that around it, so that doesn't cover the artwork, but that is the cover of issue number 25, which will be released soon, in the next, what are we up to at the moment? Justice League, where are we? Justice League number 23 came out earlier this month, 24 was last week. So this is the next issue of Justice League, beginning in early June. It will be out, and that is the cover that you can see there, with artwork by Jorge Jimenez and Alejandro Sanchez, and that will be an extra-sized anniversary issue for the Year of the Villain Prelude. So check out that comic book coming out early next month with the new logo for the Justice League comic book monthly title. And there was some news about the fact that some of these twice monthly titles, Justice League being the only really Superman related one that comes out at the moment twice monthly, will now return to being monthly. I think Batman was, and Detective Comics were some of the other ones. Now that Batman is having a Batman Catwoman title coming to DC Comics, all books that were twice monthly will now be published monthly in the coming months. So you won't have to, well, you won't get the opportunity to read 2 issues per month. And that was happening for a while there with a number of titles, but now they've all gone back to being monthly releases. So yep, that's where things are going with the books. Just looking at some of the comments, seeing if there's anything I directly need to react to. Alright, well, looking at this week, seeing what comic books are out for Superman fans this coming week, dated May 29th, here is what you have to look forward to if you're reading these titles. We have Dog Days of Summer, number 1. This is an 80-page giant. It's a special that includes stories about the different animal-related characters of the DC Universe. 8 Tales of Mammal Mayhem, it says there on the cover. So obviously Crypto is involved there, and the Crypto story is in this book. Also out this week, Doomsday Clock number 10. Yes, Shock Horror came out when they said it would, and that is a black and white cover, which is also, this book is also available in this variant cover. So that Doomsday Clock number 10 is out this week. Also coming out this week, the ninth and final issue of Heroes in Crisis. This series also comes in a variant cover there, which continues on the Polaroid photograph theme for these variant covers. As I said, this is the 9th and final issue of Heroes in Crisis. Also out this month, and this is a big one for Superman fans, Superman Leviathan Rising Special number 1. This is an epic book that includes art and stories by many different writers and artists, including Bendis, Rucka, and so many others. The review will go up tomorrow morning on the Superman homepage. Adam DeChannel has written his review of this book that pretty much contains 4 stories, if you like, 4 chapters in some ways. There's stories about Superman, Lois, Jimmy. They're all connected. They're all the same story, but told from, if you like, their different perspectives. And the other one is Supergirl, who's also involved in this prelude, if you like, to the event Leviathan. So check out Superman Leviathan Rising Special number 1 available this week, Wednesday, May 29th. So that is out this week, as is this trade paperback of the digital first DC Superhero Girls Spaced Out story. As I said, this was released digitally, chapter by chapter, but is now available in graphic novel form or trade paperback form this week. DC Superhero Girls Spaced Out. Again, Jessica Cruz front and foremost there on the cover. So that is what's available this week for Superman fans reading comic books. So is this a final printing, Mike asks, of, I'm guessing, Doomsday Clock number 10? No, I doubt it. I doubt this. There's second printings, there's final printings, but this is the first printing. So, and JP saying, yes, finally, Heroes in Crisis is over. It has been a long time running, this series, but and not everyone's loved it, but it has been well written in my opinion. Alright, looking elsewhere outside the comic book side of things, this action figure was unveiled by the Figure Toys company, and it shows Lex Luthor as Green Lantern. Now, if you're wondering what the heck's going on here, why does this action figure have Lex Luthor as Green Lantern? Well, it's inspired by the Super Friends cartoons of the late 1970s. An episode of that animated series titled Secret Origin of the Super Friends saw the Legion of Doom replace the Super Friends, and Lex Luthor replaced Hal Jordan as Earth's Green Lantern. So that is the action figure that is being released by Figures Toy Company. They haven't given us a release date as yet, but that is the action figure that will be released, I'm guessing, sometime later this year. So I will let you know when that takes place. But very much of the Mego style type of action figures there for this Lex Luthor as Green Lantern. So that is where things are at with the action figure side of things, and I've pretty much run out of topics to talk about. So if you have any questions, feel free to in the comments to let me know, what you're thinking about. If you have any questions about Superman that maybe you want answered at the moment, or Superman homepage, or anything to do with anything Superman related, please let me know. Tina's saying, man, are they going to kill Superman again in the comics? No, that's not the case. The cover there for the Superman Leviathan Rising comic book does look very much like Superman is being killed off. That's not the case. Read the story, you'll understand what's happening there. It's kind of a bit of a not necessarily what you see on the cover doesn't necessarily exactly happen the way you see there in the story. So yes, just read the story and then you'll be able to understand what's going on there. But no, they're not killing Superman off. Ricky Lee saying Doomsday Clock started 80 years ago. Yeah, it feels like that, Ricky. It really was a long, stretched out process. December or November 2018, if I recall, 2017 maybe. That just been ridiculous. How it's supposed to be a monthly thing. It was supposed to come out to coincide with stories that were coming up, and now those stories have started, and Doomsday Clock hasn't even got anywhere near finishing. And then it went bi-monthly, and then it started missing those schedules, and we've spoken about that quite a bit over time, Michael and I, over the recent shows. So it has been a bit of a debacle the way that's been handled, which is disappointing, because it is a pretty good storyline and it does feature highly in the top 100 sales charts for DC, but I'm sure that the delays have impacted on those sales and could have been handled a lot better. What's my take on Batwoman coming to the CW? I'm not a big Batman family fan, so I don't really have too much of an opinion on the Batwoman TV series. Obviously, she was part of the crossover that we saw on the CW shows recently, and I like the fact that the casting, being an Australian actress, and I like the costume, what they're doing there. But it's expanding the CW shows, which is a good thing. Obviously, Arrow is coming to an end, so we'll wait and see what it pans out like. Leviathan, back to the comic books. What has Leviathan revealed yet in the comics? Well, you'll find out about Leviathan in this special, the Leviathan Rising Superman special coming out tomorrow, Wednesday. You find out who Leviathan is. So no spoilers here, but read that comic book coming out tomorrow when it gets released. So yes, Leviathan Rising, obviously heading into the event Leviathan, which takes place across a number of comic books and the DC universe as a whole. Any other questions, please feel free to let me know, ask away. I'm happy to answer whatever you might have in regards to what's going on with Superman, where things are at in the Superman world, and any questions you might have about the Superman homepage or my collection. Only too happy to answer those. Otherwise, we can wrap things up a little bit early here tonight. Without a co-host, you wrap things up a lot quicker because you don't have that banter back and forth like you do when you have two people. So being on your own sometimes you can get through things a lot quicker than I normally would with Michael by my side, so to speak. Superman homepage has their meet and greet coming up, or has our meet and greet coming up for the Superman celebration, which is literally a week away. June 6th to June 9th, the Superman celebration takes place in Metropolis, Illinois. Plans are afoot. Our meet and greet is now in the American Legion building, which is just down the road from behind the Superman statue. We've moved it to our own room now, air conditioned, with our own space. No crowds of other people coming in like we had at the Hardy's restaurant, where there was just the noise of the general restaurant people, and not a lot of space for people to be able to hear and see what was going on. So now we have our own space in the American Legion building, which is going to be fantastic for those who can attend. There will be a Superman homepage 2019 button for the first 100 people who show up. You'll get that for free. And then there are giveaways, Blu-rays and DVDs that Warner Brothers has been kind enough to donate. I imagine there'll be some Death of Superman and Reign of the Superman animated movie Blu-rays amongst that. We'll be playing some games. There'll be, we do a lot of trivia questions. So it's not just a place where you turn up and it's just, giveaways and, things like that. It's very interactive. We've tried to make it that way over the last couple of years. When I was there last year, we did a really good job, I think, of making it more interactive, and people got involved with different games. Everybody could be involved in like a heads and tails type game that we put a Superman spin on. So it's a lot of fun. If you are going to the Superman celebration in Metropolis, Illinois next week, please make sure that you head to the American Legion building on Friday morning at 10:30 a.m. for the Superman homepage meet and greet. Jamie and Rhonda Kelly and Ken and Cindy Sills are the couples that will be running it for me this year once again in my absence. So looking forward to getting that live streamed as well. I believe Ken is going to be live streaming that. So you will, if you can't attend, like me, you'll be able to sit back and watch the video live as it happens from the Superman homepage meet and greet. And John mentions, as rightly as he does, that November this year is the 25th anniversary of the Superman homepage being online. It was started back in November 1994 or thereabouts, and has been running for the last 25 years online. I think it's the longest running fan site in the world as for a comic book fan site that I know of. I know Comic Book Resources started in 97 soon after us, and that's a pretty big site, and it continues to this day. So we have some plans in place, very tentative at this point in time, nothing huge, but it is a pretty I've got to say I'm proud of the fact that the website has been online for so long. In this day and age, a website to remain online for 25 years running is, unless you're a big franchise, that's unheard of. And a lot of the big companies weren't even online back in 1994 when this website was started. And if you haven't read the history of the Superman homepage, of course I didn't start the website. Andrew J. Gould, American gentleman, started it back in 1994. I came on to help him in early 96, and then continued on his work after his passing, when he sadly died of problems that were involved with a sickness, cancer that he had. So I've been running the website since 96 and have continued on with the help of many volunteers over the years. Some have come and gone, some are still around. Some like Adam DeChannel, Neil Bailey, Michael Bailey have been around since nearly the beginning. So it's fantastic that those guys are still very much around and part of the website. So looking forward to celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Superman homepage in November. So there are a lot of elements of the Superman homepage that you probably aren't aware of, and I really do suggest that you navigate through the Superman homepage to see some of the stuff that is there. Don't just check out the news on the front page and don't go any further. There are comic book reviews dating back since 1999. There, so much that you didn't know about Superman that you'll find out about in some of the Did You Know segments that we post, and elements of articles that we've like when was the first time that Superman and Lois Lane kissed? When was the first time that Superman did a shirt rip? When was the first time this, that, and the other? So a lot of different articles that we've researched and done some interesting work on over the years are up on the Superman homepage as well. And definitely go through the website and check out some of the lesser known elements of the website that you might not have stumbled across. And the Superman homepage app at the moment is a little bit dated. There are some parts of it that don't work, and we're hoping to get something, an update sooner or later, and John's just asking about that now, about the app. I've even actually been working myself on trying to learn programming to figure out how to rebuild the app and add some elements and fix things that have been broken. And it was built by GUI, who are a fantastic app company. They did it out of the goodness of their own hearts and for free, so we can't be too critical of the fact that we haven't been able to get an update done from them. They've obviously got other paid jobs that they're doing, so we really appreciate the fact that they got something up for us, and have been promising to help us fix some of the elements that have been broken, or update some of the things that we would like to update. But obviously that gets pushed to the back of the line when you've got other big companies paying for things that they need done. Thank you to everyone for the comments. People thanking me for all the work that we do at the website and for making it happen. And your general comments, appreciate that. The website dates back so far. I mean, it was back in dial-up days with the modems, and we had message boards and forums, and we had live chat rooms, and other different things that have just gone well by the wayside now. The internet has progressed so far. We were around before Facebook, and now Facebook and Twitter and other social media has really kicked on, and so the website has lived and been through all that. And we have Superman philosophy articles on the website, as Tina mentions there in the comments. She's added some articles herself to the fan philosophy segment, and there are different debates going on there about things like Superman, where he's at, Superman versus other ideals, what makes Superman still relevant in this day and age. So heaps of articles in the fan philosophy segment that you yourself might want to get involved with and write an essay or an article on any of those topics that are in the Superman Fan Philosophy segment, which you'll find in the interaction elements or segment of the Superman homepage website. Alright, well, I'm going to pretty much wrap things up here. I appreciate everyone listening and watching live tonight. Without Michael Bailey here as my co-host, I've pushed through and been able to deliver pretty much an hour show. So thank you all for tuning into this episode of WGBS TV Live. Michael Bailey, all things going well with his internet connection, will join me again next week. I want to thank again our sponsor and patron, Douglas Meacham, and remind you that if you want to sponsor the Superman homepage, not just this show, but everything that we do and enable us to continue to do what we do, then please head to patreon.com/Superman homepage, where you too can be a sponsor and contribute for as little as $3. So please get involved there if you can. The complete 1 hour video of tonight's show will remain available on the Superman homepage website and our YouTube channel. If you'd like to watch it back, perhaps you missed part of the show, tuned in late, what have you, you'll be able to do that on the website and YouTube for the foreseeable future. I'll be back with Michael next week on Tuesday, June 4th at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time for another edition of WGBS TV Live. Look forward to talking with you then. Until then, be sure to check out supermanhomepage.com for all your daily news updates on everything surrounding the Man of Steel. I'm Steve Eunice. Thanks for watching WGBS TV Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com.